like rinse. Just rinse it out. Don't rub it.
Usually in new construction now they replace fiberglass with like a cellulose kind of foam that they just spray into the wall. So it gets a lot more compact, just like this stuff. It gets into those really tiny cracks.
My name is Paris Wise. Work for Apeiron Institute, Sustainable Living. I'm a crew chief / manager. I run, help set up the operations here, help do a lot of the administrative work here, and I'm also one of the instructors here.
And what we do is we weatherize homes in Providence for free, and we also train people to do weatherization work.
Well, for my major at Green Mountain College, I have to do an internship. And actually what I did was I searched online in Google and searched for sustainable businesses and found Apeiron. So I figured since I live in Rhode Island, I would really like to help make it more sustainable, economically prosperous.
Basically what I do is we try to treat this training to jobs program like a job, like a real job, where the guys come in the morning, they're here by a certain time, we list out what we need to do, we get our supplies ready, we get up, we go to the job, we do the job. You know, we usually try to do a couple houses a day. Don't try it, we do a couple of houses a day unless we have a cancellation. And then after that, you know, it's just like a job. We come back, unload, clean everything up, and then the students are free to go. Which they're usually gone anywhere from 2 to 3:30 in the afternoon. They're gone. So it gives them good structure as far as working and as far as the working climate goes. You know, some have worked before, some haven't worked before. This program takes in people that range from 18 years of age up to 50 years of age, you know, depending upon the situation and whatnot. So we take in, you know, a wide variety of people. And the training is good because it's training them now for the green future that's upon us and starting to move even faster. So
we are funded by the federal government through the city of Providence. What happened was Providence was granted X amount of dollars to do this type of training as well as the work. So instead of setting up two separate programs where we have crews doing the work, we're actually training people and teaching them how to do it as well as they're getting on-the-job experience all in one shot.
Yeah, you pull that faceplate off and then you put the gasket in and you put the plate over it and the gasket stops the air from coming through.
I pop that little hole out in the middle. That's where your screw is. I didn't get to pop that out because I don't have a thing. Just usually use a screwdriver.
I've always either done carpentry or computers. I'm a computer specialist too. I've been at for 14 years. But I don't do that anymore. I used to work for Blue Cross as a computer specialist. But I got into weatherization because I took a program much like what they're in. All right, and I got into the weatherization, and I got into what's called BPI, Building Professional Institute certification, which is a national certification. I can go just about anywhere with that certification and do this type of work. Alright, so we do that, and I got into that, and then I got into being Rhode Island lead inspector technician. I got lead certified at the same time. So that kind of put me into this field, because this field, everywhere else in the world, is more advanced in weatherization, more advanced in green technology than the United States. The United States is behind the ball on that. Rhode Island is behind the ball in the United States on it. Alright? So now we're trying to jump to get to the top. And we can do it because you only got a state that's got 1 million people in it, so it's easy to make these moves. You know, but around here it's political. And too many jerks and sitting up in the office and things like that. So it gets really political when you start talking weatherization and grant programs and things like that. You got to run to get things going. What they're trying to do now is break that marriage, break up that bed marriage between the utilities and this one in particular company. I won't mention them because I used to work for them. But this one in particular company, and they're slowly breaking them up from doing that. So more of the workers now are starting to get spread around, trying to get spread around to do it. I mean, 30-something companies, that's plenty of work for all of those companies. You have literally tens of thousands of houses that need work. This area of Rhode Island, especially Providence, Cranston, Woonsocket, there's a couple more cities that have 5 prime target areas for lead poisoning in kids. Lead and weatherization usually go hand in hand. If your house has lead problems, it more than likely has weatherization problems and vice versa. You know what I mean? Because that's just strictly because of where we live. We live in New England. This is a very old region of the country. Here, Massachusetts, Connecticut, places, this is all old. You've got houses, I've worked on houses on Benefit Street on the east side that go back to 17 something.
I'm an environmental studies major, and I figure, you know, with sustainability you have environmental, social, and economic justice responsibility, and I feel like it helps people of all kinds, whether you're low income or, you know, one of the 1% that owns half or most of the wealth in our country. So it just kind of helps everyone.
Because 2 or 3 years ago, I did no recycling. I had no clue about the environment. I ended up getting into a green construction course, which is how I learned more about this. And that's how I met Paris. We was both in that course, and that was approximately 2.5, 3 years ago. And that's what led me to this job, because the guy who taught the course, who ran the course, I became friends with. He was then the acting executive director of this company, and he called me for the job.
The program's good. We do free weatherization for the clients. As like I was saying before, it's a win-win situation because the students get the on-job training experience that they would otherwise lack, and what weatherization companies need from them, and 2, the clients' homes that they're working on get the free weatherization work done to the home, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 worth of work in labor and materials. So it's like I said, it's a win-win situation. It's probably one of the few programs in the state right now that's actually positive, that's working for something. So it's good.
People are spending too much on their bills, and we have a lot of low-income people here who tend to fall behind on their bills. So we are now trying to help them as well as train people to do weatherization work.
It's more or less like a feeling. I always like to try to help people. I've always had jobs where I try to do that. That's why I try to help somebody out. The way this works for me, and it works for everybody else, it's very good because we help and affect the people that really need it the most. You know what I mean? If you're working and whatnot and you have good cash coming in, good cash flow coming in, you can afford to have a regular weatherization company come out and do this type of work to your home. Whether or not you do a job or not, that's up to the company. But you can afford to have that done. A lot of these folks in these areas can't afford to have that basic amount of work done. So it's good just to go and do the basic amount to save them that 20 to 30% a year off their, you know, living costs, the electric, the gas, whatever that they're spending to heat the homes with. A lot of these homes are very old around here, you know, so a lot of them have to be retrofitted with this type of material, which is still good. They're old homes are full of leaks, and leaks means money, you know what I mean? And it's money that they don't necessarily have, so they're sitting around here in the cold. So rather than have somebody do that, we can come along and we can put that little extra in there for them, and it helps them out. They don't have to pay for it. They get to stay warm in the wintertime, you know what I mean? They get to stay cool in the summertime. So it's a win-win situation for me. I always like work. I mean, hell, I used to do a lot of charity work when I was a kid. Don't do it anymore because it doesn't pay the bills. But I do it when I can, you know, when I can help out here and there, I'll do that. And working this type of a job lets me feel like I'm still doing that charity work that I was doing when I was a kid coming up. You know, it's the same type of feeling. And it's also educational, because most of the homeowners that are here that are with us, they tend to go through the house with us at the same time as I'm pointing things out to them. So they're getting an education, a schooling on how their house is put together, how they can make it better through all of the things that we're doing, and also, you know, it's like I said, it's a win-win. It's back and forth. They're getting the education, they're getting the free work. It works for them. The students the same way. They're getting the education, they're getting the work experience, and it works for them. You know, so when they leave out of this program, they now have the basic qualifications where they can go out and get a job not only in insulation, but they can get the job because of their certifications in OSHA and in lead and whatnot. They can get baseline jobs in other areas of this industry, either as an auditor or as an inspector. You know, when you do a little bit more education behind, have a little bit more schooling behind you, courses behind you, you can do that. And this provides that basic in step, get your foot in the door type of knowledge for you. So it's good. It works.